You have speed?
Speed.
Oh. Donald and Wendy, I am so happy you're making yourselves available to us here today to be able to talk with you about Cry Freedom. And as we've already told our audience, you are the author of the books on which the movie is based, and you are portrayed in the film as well. If I may, Donald, start with you. Now that you see the completed picture, what is your reaction to it?
Well, I'm very happy that the director has stuck so closely to the story, to the facts of the story. And so, you know, you often hear about something being a true story, but now this is the first film I've actually watched being made, and it's been very good to see how accurately he's made it.
So there is nothing in it that you really can object to as far as...
Nothing, no.
That is extraordinary.
Yeah, both of us were allowed by Sir Richard Attenborough to police it, and he said, I don't want anything that's not real, and I don't want anything that's false, and nor did we. So each time we felt the scriptwriter was edging over into something that wasn't quite right, we'd shout, and he's kept it very closely to the facts.
And Wendy, if we may get you into the conversation, I think the hardest thing would be for one to look at one's life on the screen being played by other people. And even though you might say it's all accurate and true and so forth, but what was that like for you to see another woman playing you, another man playing your husband?
Well, in the beginning it was very strange, really very strange. The first time I saw it happening was when we were on the set, and they were testing some actresses to play my part, and the scene that they used was the argument that we had on the beach. And I was just standing there watching what was going on, and this woman, who was not Penelope, came on and suddenly said, "What do you mean we've got to leave?" And I knew that I'd fed all this information to the scriptwriter, and it was like a sort of echo coming back at me. It was very strange. And it was something of a shock, actually, because I started to feel all over again those feelings that I'd forgotten about. But gradually, as we settled into the everyday working routine of the movie, I got used to it after a while. It became more like work, you know.
Hard work.
Donald, if I understand the background, your background, originally, way back someplace, you were for apartheid.
Yes, I was raised a very conservative family, and we grew up being taught and accepting that blacks are inferior and that they are there to serve us, as servants virtually. And for many years, well, I must have been about 20-something before I really started questioning this. And this only happened when I went away to college to study law. But up until then, that was the way it was.
What do you think, or when was the moment that you and Stephen Biko, when you knew that you and Stephen Biko were friends and would be friends?
It happened, I think, there was no sudden sort of moment, but it happened gradually over a period of months after my meeting him, and we both got to know him and his family and his friends. And over the period of a few months, especially in 1976, that was when we really became friends, I think, because we started trusting each other with information. We came from such different cultures and backgrounds and political divisions. And then as the trust grew, so you realized, you know, this is not just a casual acquaintance.
What did you find most to admire about him?
His amazing maturity, because he started getting a national following at only the age of 22. And when he was killed, he was only in his 30th year. But you always had a sense of talking to someone much older. He had a sort of quiet wisdom. He wasn't a flamboyant character. And if I have to mention a single quality, I'd say it's that maturity.
Wendy, what is your life like now? You live in London, is that
Yes.
right? So what has been going on with your life since 1977?
Well, we arrived in London in the middle of winter, which was a bit of a shock coming from a nice temperate climate of South Africa. And for the first year or so, I found it difficult to settle down. I was very homesick. And also found living difficult in a metropolis because where we came from is quite a small town. I spent the first 4 or 5 years making life as easy and as normal as I could possibly make it for ourselves and the children, and getting them settled into a community. We got dogs and cats, and I wanted all that. I wanted to get all that going. So I did that for some time. And then once that had been achieved, I got a job as a journalist. Starting out new, I'd never done it before, but I was offered this job and took it and enjoyed it very much. So for the last 4 years I've been working on a small magazine, and then I resigned to do the movie. So that's what we've been doing.
And Donald, you have continued to write, I presume.
Yes, I do a lot of writing for newspapers in Britain and elsewhere, and I do quite a lot of lecturing, mostly in the United States, going from college to college.
Well, again, I am so happy that you're available here today for us to meet you and talk with you. Congratulations to both of you for your part in this, because it is your life, as they say.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It's a wonderful interview. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tape stop.
Donald, now that you see the film on the screen, what is your reaction to it? Is everything we see on screen the real truth? Wendy, what was it like for you seeing someone else up there on screen portraying your life and your husband's life? Donald, originally you were pro-apartheid, weren't you? What was it about Stephen Biko that you, when you met him and got to know him, that you knew you would be friends? What did you most admire about Stephen Biko? Oh, I forgot one more question. Okay. Wendy, what has been going on with your life since you moved to England in 1977? Okay, thank you.